So I have the headphones off while I'm talking at the beginning, and then when I'm turning it around to you guys, and actually, I might ask John in between people to go. That one's recording. Is the other one live? Hey! I don't even know this because he's recording it for me. Whether or not I'm introducing between you, I will give the order. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hi. Welcome to this very, very strange, at least for me, edition of Poetic License. I'm on location in Chicago because yesterday was my 100-year Kuypers family reunion in Illinois. And so I had to come out here, and it was crazy fun and weird and whatnot. And it's great to see everybody. And food's coming to us. You're awesome. Thank you. So for my first time, because we're running late, I'm going to go straight into it. The first round of stuff is usually from the first literary magazine. I'm looking, oh, that's Beach Plus, I don't like that. Is poetry from the recent release, and I had to release them early because it was gone this weekend. The brand new issue of cc&d magazine, which is titled, dun, 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 Personal Archaeology. Based on titles within the piece. You guys can hear me okay when I'm just talking to you like this? Want to make sure everything is cool. Thank you. Personal Archaeology is the name of an accepted piece of writing within this book, and they already thanked me for it. I was like, let me find a thing. Hey, I've got, hey, Doc, hey, he's here. We will add you to the list. But I will read 3 pieces from this in the first round, and of course, usually always they're appearing in other books as well. So this first book, first poem I'm going to read is also a poem that appears in the book Testament. I get to shout 2 books. I've been doing features for them. I just did one Wednesday in Hot Springs, Arkansas, where I stood in an outfit and I had a coat, I had a shawl of hangers all over me while I read it. I'm sorry, it was kind of cool. And I just read a beach feature, and of course, on the beach it was raining, so we went to the front of another store and just stood under an awning and I did a feature. But I've never shared this one poem with you, and it's the first one in the round, and it is titled Fear for Their Safety. How women speak is interpreted under the cloak of womanhood. Well, she's just a woman. How could she say that? She doesn't know what she's talking about. So, subliminally, all women couch what they say based on who's listening to them, based on how people interpret their words. When a woman with any authority in a workplace says something strong to correct a problem at work, men all still will say she's just being a bitch. Oh, when a man says the same thing, they are just being considered driven. When a woman went to a doctor during menopause complaining about hot flashes, the doctor suggested giving her Xanax, which can impair memory, judgment, or coordination. It can cause paranoia or suicidal tendencies. But the doctor just said instead of delivering a remedy, he would just prescribe her with a pill to make her shut up. When a woman was hospitalized with an ulcer, she came back. Her pain remained, especially during menstruation. There would be days at work where she would have to lay down underneath her desk in pain. Once I helped her walk her to the train station during the day because she had to be bedridden because she didn't know if she could walk the 1 block to her train without collapsing. She spoke of how uncomfortable she felt when she was with her male doctor, who never listened to her, dismissing her problems as if she was the one that had it all in her head. Doctors later suggested that she should go on the pill. But she took that advice from a doctor years earlier, and it made her even more violently moody, and still it didn't help with the pain. She feared her only choice was to follow her doctor's orders. When a woman went to a doctor complaining of stomach pains, they suggested that she had a yeast infection, and she knew full well that it was not that. When she told him this, she was just being ludicrous. The doctor just brushed her off. Sharing her problem with another doctor, he suggested that she had the stomach flu, so he gave her a prescription and said she'll be fine soon. And within 2 weeks, she was admitted to the hospital with laceration on her stomach, and it was worsened because it was never treated. The strong acidic acids, fluids were seeping through her body and affecting her other organs. She was admitted to the hospital on a Friday, and by Saturday morning, she was dead. This says a lot about how women's health care works and how they value women. After the overturning of Roe v. Wade, women's health doctors feel increased scrutiny amid abortion bans, and patients now struggle to find access to potentially life-saving care. I read headlines like, 4 more Republican-led states ban abortion, almost all abortions. That's not a shocker. And the link between abortion rights and gender equality. Did someone actually read and research these figures to figure this out? I see the battles of South Carolina Republican women fighting abortion rights, and Kansas voting recounts confirm abortion rights too. And I see that this mad scavenger's scooping up any, I seem like some mad scavenger scooping up any news I can, helping women in the struggle. And I suddenly remember how women have been stripped of healthcare rights all across the spectrum, from prescribing crazy pills to never listening to female patients, all leading to so much pain and death. I've seen firsthand how long must women have to fight these battles? Even if women win abortion rights, do we think that everything is going to be wonderful again? Because it never was wonderful, not for women. Continually ready to fight. It may take too long. Women may win battles, but after millennia, women lose the war. We women keep fighting, keep thinking that we're making a difference, but are we? Do we feel comfortable walking down the street at night without fearing for the threat of theft of rape? Do we feel that we can stand up for ourselves at work without sounding like to everyone, all men, like we're some bitch instead of an insightful, valuable contributor? Will we ever feel comfortable with the male doctor at the one place where we should feel the most safe? Because I wonder how women can talk about equality when, in all reality, women have always had a fear for their own safety first. Sorry, that one is a deep one, and one of those was about my grandmother who died. and so it's everywhere, and people don't listen, and what do you do about it? And that was just way too sad, so I thought I'd go on a science route for the next one. That first one, yes, that was from personal archaeology, and it was also in the Book Testament, but so...
I just want to say thank you for bringing all that up, and just for the record, it's like much worse for women of color.
Yeah.
You know, they get listened to even less and are left to die or be in pain or whatever, even more than white women. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, not a problem, and I'm sorry that I don't have lots of women of color telling me their stories, but you're absolutely right in that. So I just go with what I hear, and now I feel like I've just made things really down, but thank you very much for the comments on that. So I'm going to have to go with my science route, especially when Tom, he's still happy, even though he's now Michael on Facebook. I can't read. Who on earth are you, Mr. Man? But the next poem I'm going to read, because I do a science thing, because Information Curious Weight was the last poem in my feature and the last thing I just read, I'm going to read periodic table poems. This first one's going to be a periodic table poem that does, yes, fit into the periodic table poetry, but it's for the element bromine. What? Here we go. This poem is called Bromine. You've stopped the fire in me. Oh, the zone you've tried to pull, leaving a stench in your wake. You wanted to stop my shaking. You wanted to sedate me, but I've learned better. You're just as unsafe. You're just so unsafe that no one thinks you're any good. You've been so corrosive to me, and I know I haven't seen you around, but I've been trying to tell you. You have no purpose for me. The one thing you may be good for is killing the vermin around me, but at this point in the game, I'd rather keep things living, so please stop and keep your distance. Your toxicity depresses me, and when you sneak into my drink, you cloud everything instead. You think you make things picture perfect, but trust me, that argument is not enough for me. So please, don't poison me. Please, don't burn me. Just let me get some fresh air again. and get you away from me for good. That one was from Bromine from back in the day. Yeah, I always have these little pictures for it. This is for Bromine. But there's another short little one, and I didn't have photos with it, but I see a bunch of pictures when I read them live. This is a Twitter-length poem from Bromine that I said, yes, of course, is in cc&d, personal archaeology, but it's also in the Twitterverse periodic table of poetry book. Dun, dun, dun. And it is titled Bromine's Assault. It's similar to the first, but here you go. The stench is inescapable. It will leave me be as you exit the Dead Sea. Don't think you can stop my shaking. No, you can't sedate me. And no, don't try to sneak into my drink, because you'll only cloud everything around instead. It's picture clear. Keep your destruction away from me. And the other bonus, because I was able to fit them in the magazine, I'm going to have to shove them off. I did a live as I snapped the thing for it. There were live performances where I read them at the beach. And they appear in black and white in the book. That's why I was showing them off from the periodic table. And when actually these things were at open mics. Hey, Tom, you know this place. That was at Recycled Reads. And I vaguely remember Recycled Reads when we could have our open mic there. And even at other places as well, but I'm not going to show that stuff anymore to you because I've just been stumbling around and trying to catch up and get volume here. I'm going to put on headphones after this. Actually, I'm going to ask John F. McMullen, because you're the next one up on the list. I've got the list here and I'm going to say the order. You would know it as well, John. If John F. McMullen, then Lorna, then Jim, then Tom, then Susan, you would take it next, John? Would you like to be able to continue between them, and I will keep it in mute mode? How does that sound for you, John F. McMullen?
That's fine. That's what I usually do, John. It's different, so okay.
Then that's perfect. I've just told you the order, so you guys have the clue, and he will give that word to you guys as well. When it goes.
2 and 3 in the first round, John.
I have set up for 3, so go ahead and do 3, my loves. I think that's awesome. Does that sound good for you? Oh, and I had Doc on here. I have to add Doc. I didn't have that on the list, but Doc is on the list after Susan. John F. McMullen, Lorna, Jim, Tom, Susan, and Doc. And that is your order. And then I will be in silent mode while listening to you guys all reading. And John F. McMullen, the stage is yours. Take it all away.